morning and welcome to the Waffle podcast. My name is Liz Ward. I'm a crochet designer living in New York in the UK, and this is episode 14, so I had to check the board. Welcome to all our returning viewers. Thank you for watching so far and keeping watching, and welcome to any new viewers. It's lovely to have you on board. Here is where I chat mainly about the stuff I haven't been crocheting and all about the knitting I've been doing while I should have been crocheting, as that is my job. And yeah, I ramble on for about an hour, or waffle on as the podcast is called, and usually we get interrupted by my cat. And next episode, my new little kitten will be here. Right on cue, Cal's just turned up. You can probably just hear her. Hang on, I'll grab her. Here she is. So this is Cal. She's my Bengal cat. Yeah. And so on the next episode, the new little kitten will be here. So to celebrate that, I thought I'd do a giveaway on this episode. So stay tuned for more information on that. I put together a really lovely prize package, and I think we're going to have a little fun competition in the comments to go with welcoming the new kitty, which will be, like I say, on the next episode. And I've said that 3 times, so I'm going to try and get Cal to sit on her cushion, which is probably way too excited. And we'll just want to rock the camera. Okay, yes, welcome. It is the 19th of February. It's pretty early in the morning. It's an overcast grey February day, but at least it's not raining. We've had a few storms come through, and yeah, the weather in the UK has not been great. But luckily, I live in York. It's famous for the river flooding, but it just tends to be it doesn't really affect the city centre, and it hasn't affected where I live because I don't live near the river. I should stop rambling and start talking about knitting because there's a lot to get through today. And also there definitely is some crochet today. I have 2 finished crochet objects and one crochet work in project. What? Work in project? Work in process. Okay, it's early. Words aren't happening yet. Do they ever? Okay, let's get going. Before I get cracking on all those finished objects, I should just say I am wearing my Zweig. This is a sweater I knitted last year out of yarn I dyed myself. It is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter and I absolutely love it. At some point it does need to have mild surgery on the sleeves because I didn't put a lot of stretch in these, and I tend to wear a lot of things rolled up and I can't really do that in these. But I can just, but you tend to get a bit of a line. But yeah, absolutely love this pattern. I'm planning on knitting it again, and yeah, absolutely love it. What more can I say about it? I love it. So we're going to just crack on with the finished objects because I got a bit of a stack today. Okay, we'll start with socks. I'll start with the most boring thing first. Although they're not boring to me, I really like them. So this is a work in process that's been going on for a while. This is Opal yarn. I can't remember the colourway. I'll put it on screen if I can find it. It was stash yarn that I bought a couple of years ago, and I've just done plain vanilla socks. There is 2, I just couldn't find my other matching blocker to these. This is just my very basic vanilla sock recipe, which will, I must have said this 100 times, be a free pattern on Ravelry when I get it typed up. What I've decided to do actually is to make it in a few different sizes, so I can will actually have a child size up to, you know, a big man size, or a big-footed man. No, okay, let's shut up. Right, yeah. So this is my size, or probably my mum's size, as these will more than likely go to her. It hasn't been blocked. I don't tend to block socks unless they're for a gift. But yeah, I work using the magic loop method. It's 64 stitches. It's got a 2x2 rib at the top. And then I don't count rows, I just knit for as long as I feel I want to. And then I put in a short row heel. And then I knit down to the toe. It's usually about 6 inches between the heel and then where I start the toe for me and my mum. And I've done the rounded toe, which is decreased like the top of the hat and finishes without the need to Kitchener at the end. The other one's worked exactly the same, and that's a pair, and that'll go, this pair will probably go in the pile I like to get together for Mum's birthday that's in the middle of March. And yeah, she gets a stack of socks for her birthday, or at least she has done for the past year or so, and I think that makes her happy. She does love my socks. But I have another pair of finished socks. And these are both on blockers, but they don't look great because they're, again, not blocked, but they're also a little bit big for the blockers. First off, the yarn. This is a sci-fi colourway by Yarn Badger, and it is a self-striping yarn that I got at, I want to say, the Wool Monty in Sheffield last year, but that might not be the case. I'm trying to remember what other show I saw her at. No, I'm fairly sure it was the Wool Monty. I have already knit a pair of these socks in this colourway. And what I did with what was left over is I cast on 60 stitches because I was going to make one of these. I don't know if you can see them in the background. I'll grab one down. Ooh. So these are just little swatches that I knit as a sock tube, but then I framed them so I can put my stitch markers and things on, and I've used some of my favourite yarns and I need to make some more of these. But what keeps happening, sorry that's Cal, is I cast them on and start knitting, and then I just think, well, I'll just carry on knitting and maybe it'll be enough for a pair of socks. So that's what I did with these. I just knit a massive long tube, and I have shown it on the podcast before, in fact quite a long time ago, because it just stayed a tube for a long time. And then I put a heel in on one and a toe, that's a toe, that's toe Liz, toe in, and I tried to put an afterthought heel in and messed it up completely, so it had to be taken out. But in the process of all that happening and hanging around for an absolute long time, I lost this contrast colour. Don't know what happened to it. There is yarn all over my house, but it should all be in relatively I know where it is places. Cal's just going to wander, we'll just leave her be. But this wasn't in any of the places I thought I would have put it. And in the end it turned out it had gone back into stash. I don't know how. It was in the drawer of all my 4-ply yarn that is not new. It's sort of in use, if you know what I mean. One of these days I'll do a proper sort of tour of all the stash. I think when I'm planning to do a bit more sort of vlog style next month, because Kitten will be here and I think there'll be lots of fun things going on, so hopefully I'll do a few more vlog style videos through March, and also my birthday's in March as well, so that'll be fun. But yeah, back to the socks. So finally I picked these up again and started working on them, and actually to say this is the second pair of socks I've knit out of this yarn. These are really good length socks. They're actually too long for my blockers. It was words. But yeah, it was 60 stitches rather than 64, and that's just because I was originally trying to do it for a frame. But they fit my feet absolutely fine. I have done afterthought heels. I think I need to come in. I don't actually think I've woven in the ends of these yet, but I definitely need to come in and just pick up this little stitch here and just sew it in a bit. It seems to be the same on pretty much all of them, but these have the rounded toe on again just because that's what I did on the first one, and I didn't want to take that toe out because that was fine. It was just the heel that wasn't fine. But they have what is technically just a wedge toe as the heel, and so you do get that decrease line, but it's really fine. And then I picked up to do the rib, and I think I knit about 15 rows, and then I did a stretchy bind off. I think it was Judy's surprisingly stretchy bind off. It's a really good bind off, really stretchy, and it does flare out, which would probably go a little bit with blocking, but these are for me and I don't mind that. When they're on, they fit absolutely lovely. So yeah, I now have a pair of these that fit. Oh, I probably didn't mention the fact that the first pair of these I knit intending them to be mine myself, but made the foot way too short. So they were gifted and very happily received. And now I finally have a pair for myself. Oh, I can wear them now. Ooh. There's something wonderful about wearing hand knit socks, isn't there? It makes you feel kind of special because no one can really see them. But it's like it's your thing and you've got awesome hot socks on, so you're awesome that day. It's great, I love it. Don't mind me. Right, okay, I have one more finished knit object, And 2 finished crochet objects I'll leave till a bit later, but we'll crack on with the next finished object, which is another Caitlin Hunter jumper. And you could probably tell looking at this one, the colour themes that I was going for on my finished Navelli. Yes, it's finally done, it's finally off the needles. I am so pleased this is finished. There was a lot of stops and starts on this. Let me show it up so you can see that beautiful colour work. I can't see what you're seeing now. I'm literally hidden and can't see the reflection in the camera, but oh, it's so beautiful. Yes, this is the Navelli. It is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter of Boylan Knitworks. I knit it in the Sheepy's Metropolis 4-ply yarn. I don't know the colour numbers off the top of my head, but it is a dark bottle green, a duck egg blue, and then this mustard yellow colour. I didn't do everything according to pattern. She has you change to the darker colour, so it would have been the dark green for me on the edge of these little sleeves, and these little sleeves are turned over, so it's like a double thickness, but it gives a really nice finish and really sort of stable finish. I wasn't 100% sure I wanted to do that, but sometimes you just got to go with the pattern because it knows what it's doing. But yeah, I didn't do the contrast colour on the end just because I thought more than likely if I wear this, and that's a big if we'll come to, I would be wearing it with a long sleeve t-shirt underneath, which would probably be a darker colour, so you would never really notice that dark green on the edge, so I just kept it yellow. But yeah, I managed to tidy up the mess I had made of the short rows. You can't really see that now on the back, just by a little bit of weaving in, and the back and the front are exactly the same. Did you hear my stomach rumble? Oh dear. Okay. Also, it smells gorgeous. It has been blocked, and the soap that I used to block it in just smells so nice. This had a lot of stops and starts in the knitting of it. First, because I wasn't 100% sure of the yarn. It feels... It's lovely yarn. It's not a flat colour, which for a commercial yarn is really nice. It's a very even tonal, but it's got little spots of orange in there and all sorts like that. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, it was more the fabric that I was getting with the yarn. I don't know how I've phrased this in the past. It's almost spongy, like it's already been felted in a way. It was strange as I was knitting it, but it did the colour work absolutely beautiful. I mean, it's so crisp and just lovely. And yeah, it finally got picked up, it finally got finished, it is here, it is done. Am I ever going to wear it? As I mentioned on a previous episode, it is cropped. If I can get better in the screen, you probably can't really see. It falls higher than my natural waist, so, and as I'm a bit tubby around my waist, I would prefer it, no, I wouldn't prefer it to be longer. This is the style, this is the design. I just don't have anything to wear this with. If I wore it with trousers, I'd feel uncomfortable. I suppose I could wear it with a longer top underneath, but it's made to be worn as the pattern picture, if I put it in now, shows. It's made to be worn with dresses and skirts, and I don't have a lot of those. So my plan is to find something to wear it with, so I can actually wear it. It's still a bit on the cold side for something with short sleeves, so there's time. If I do start wearing it and if I get the wear out of it, I will keep it. If not, I will gift it to one of my sisters. My younger sister is quite a bit more trendy than me, and she would probably look really cool in this. So she may end up wearing it. But yeah, it's been on the needles for a while. I'm happy to have it finished. I now currently only have one sweater on the needles, which is the sweater I'm knitting for my friend Richard, which is the Oster sweater by Michelle Wong. And I have nearly finished the sleeves on that, but I'm not going to show it today because there's a lot to get through. I'll show you when I finish the sleeves, which will probably be on the next episode. Okay, so there are a couple of crochet finished objects to talk about, but I just wanted to go on to works in progress in knitting so we can keep them slightly separate. Yeah, so knitting works in progress. Okay, so first off is a gift knit that I started, and this is from the book Knit Like a Latvian, and these are some Latvian mitts. They are knit out of, I think it's Drops Fable and Jameson's, which is, the cream is a Jameson's yarn, and it's a 2-ply, but it's a fingering weight yarn. And these are knit for my friend Erica, and she is from Latvia originally, so I did the proper Latvian braid on it. And I was quite surprised how simple doing a Latvian braid was. I'd never ever attempted them before. I did follow a YouTube tutorial. The instructions in the book were very good, and after I had watched the YouTube tutorial I understood them better, but I definitely need that visual tutorial. If I remember which one I watched, I'll put a link. But the thing that put me off doing a Latvian braid in the past is maybe because I'm a crocheter, but anything that goes this way, sort of across on a crochet pattern, is gonna make that have less give. So you can make this sort of thing with slip stitches and stuff like that, and what it means is it gives you a nice edge, but you have lost all your stretch in that area. And I thought Latvian braids would do exactly the same thing, and they don't at all. I mean, there is less stretch here than there is in this bit. So this was something I was really impressed with, and I just absolutely loved the effect of them. So pretty. It is a bit twisty yarny, but what happens is on your first row you're twisting the yarn and it gets very twisted up, but on the second row you're untwisting it. So you've kind of just got to bear with it. But yeah, and this design is in the book, and this is the snake design, and this is all about, it's all the Latvian symbols for life and longevity, but also this is one about traditional crafts, so I thought this was perfect. Plus burgundy is very much Erica's colour. And this was for her birthday, which was a week on Monday ago, and she doesn't have them yet because I haven't finished them. I have nearly finished them. Nearly. I'm this far on the second mitt, and these do not take long to knit, I just haven't picked them up again. So I'm this far on the second mitt, and it would really only take a good afternoon of sitting and knitting and watching something on the telly or listening to a good podcast, and these would be done. So if I get my editing done early today, maybe I'll finish these this afternoon, because I know I'm seeing her on Friday, so maybe I'll get them finished for her. She'll tell me off if I don't. She's not shy. But yeah, lovely book, Knit Like a Latvian. It is mainly mitts and fingerless mitts, and there are some wrist warmers, but it's, yeah, absolutely lovely book. I'll put a picture on screen and all the details will be down there. But yeah, so that has been a work in progress. The other work in progress I have actually done any work on in the past couple of weeks is another sock tube. So this is exactly what I was doing for the Yarn Badger socks that I showed previously. I was just knitting a tube, So if you had a circular sock machine, this is the type of thing you could crank out, but I've knit it by hand. Again, using the magic loop method. I think these are Knit Pro Novas. They're really good actually for sock knitting. I find them very easy to use. Yeah, so this yarn is by Giddy Yarns, and it is one of her film clubs from last year. It was a December one, and it's the Schindler's List colourway. It's absolutely lovely yarn, and it's going to make some beautiful socks. And in that yarn club, you've got a 50-gram self-striping, and you've got a contrast. Words really aren't working today. You've got a contrast mini in a darker grey. Now, I snaffled that darker grey contrast to go into my mitered square a day blanket because it was a really nice grey, a dark grey that I didn't have. And I thought I would just use black as the contrast for this, and I have some of the Drops Nord in black, so that'll be the contrast, and I'll split that in. And this will make a really good size pair of socks from a 50-gram ball. If you think I need to sort of cut in about here for the heel, these might end up being from my friend Richard. I owe him a pair of socks because his Christmas ones got... It was a tale of woe. I had knit them way too big. There wasn't going to be enough yarn, and I had them kindly taken out of my hands and frogged because I was just, you know, when you're going in a gift knit spiral of, but there isn't enough yarn, but I don't want to spend £10 for another ball of yarn. And then even then, when I decided I was going to spend £10 for another ball of yarn, I couldn't find it because it was old stash, old Opal, and I couldn't get it. So yes, it was kindly taken out of my hands and dealt with. And so the pair of socks I owe him may well be these. But yeah, so that is actually, I think, the only socks I have on the go at the moment, just to put heels in those. I have cast on another sort of tube type thing in another leftover yarn badger yarn. So it's just because it's nice to have in your handbag, just a bit of it round and round on you go, and then when you've got a minute you can sit down and put all your heels, toes and cuffs in, or leave it for 6 months like I did. Right, just one more knitting work in progress to show this week, and this is a new one. I haven't shown this before. On last episode I was talking about the set of crochet patterns that I'm working on that's going to be released, which is knit in the Sirdar yarn. This is the Sirdar Jewel Spun. I think it's fairly new. I really liked this yarn as soon as I saw it, and it's got a look of hand spun. It's not, it is acrylic, it's not hand spun, but it comes in about 6 different colours, and they have, well, so far I haven't found a colour repeat on these big 200-gram balls. It's about £10 for a 200-gram ball. I found mine in my local Boys, but I know it's available from Wool Warehouse and Love Crafts. It's beautiful yarn. And the first thing I thought when I saw it was that it would make an amazing night shift shawl. Is it night shift? Is that the shawl? Andrea Mowry has a range of slip-stitched mosaic knitting patterns that are knit in Spun Cycle, which is a type of hand-spun yarn. It's very expensive yarn, it's very beautiful yarn. But when I saw this, I thought it might work. Then I decided it would be perfect for the crochet patterns that I wanted to release, so I used it for that. But I had a little bit of the first 2 colours left over. This is, I can't remember the colour names. That's going to be a theme today. I can't remember the colour names of anything at all. Unless it's written on. I think a few of them it's written on. Yeah, so these are the leftovers of the first 2 cowls that I have crocheted, which I'll be showing in a minute. And there's quite a substantial amount left over. I think I had about 70 grams of each left over from the 200-gram balls, and that's with crocheting, which eats yarn. It's amazing. So I decided to have a bash at the hat that Andrew Murray has done in the same sort of pattern. But actually, when I looked at it, it wasn't going to work for this yarn. This yarn's a bit too thick and whatnot. But I have stitch dictionaries. I can have a play at mosaic knitting. So that's what I decided to do. And this is as far as I've got. So this is slip stitch mosaic knitting, and I have tried out 3 different stitches. I'm going to have to get this really close so you can see. Oh wow, doesn't that look amazing on screen? Right, so here you're slipping 1 and knitting 3. Here you're slipping 2 and knitting 2. And here you are slipping 1 and knitting 1. And then you do that for 2 rows. And it gives you these bumps, and then you just knit as normal in the colour. Doesn't that look beautiful? This looks a lot nicer on screen than it does in person. In person it's looking a bit fluffy. I'm finding the acrylic yarn quite difficult to work with. And that's why it's stalled. Really, this only needs another repeat. And then what I thought I'd do for the decreases is this section, where it's just 1 and 1. Just do that and incorporate the decreases to the top. And then I thought I would put this up as a free pattern. I just need to get it finished. And actually looking at it on screen is motivating me. So yeah, I thought I'd put that up on Ravelry as a free pattern because I think that's rather cute. There is one other really fun thing about this hat. I've done a folded brim on it. This is where we name drop Erica again. Because she had this really cool idea of making it so the brim naturally folds. Can you see how that kicks in slightly here? And it does just naturally fold naturally fold on that line. Can you see in there? It doesn't look weird, does it? And all that is again is slipping stitches. So I'm going to add that in the pattern because I think it's really cool. And it gives you that natural fold. And I really like it. I love the way the yarns are working together. I think it just looks so much nicer on the screen than it does in person. It looks like a bit of a fluffy mess in person. I'll finish it. I'll finish it, we'll sort it, and I'll release it as a free pattern because I think it's really cute and I will wear it because it's my colours. And I think we've got a kitty invasion. Come here, darling. You come in. Hey? Well, I gotta cut the film because it's getting to half an hour. Are you gonna say hi? Nope. Nope, she doesn't want to play today, I don't think. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And, yeah. So let's talk about some crochet, shall we? I have been doing some crochet. And I have 2 of the finished cowls to show you. Ooh, bit of plastic on that one. So this is the first one. I showed this on the podcast last time, in episode 13, and I had only just started it. And this is the honeycomb cowl. Can you see the colours in that? This is that jewel spun Sirdar yarn. Again, it's 100% acrylic. You get 200 grams on a ball and you can knit this massive lacy cowl out of it. So this is, excuse me. Oh, bye. Cal's decided you're going that way, so that's what's happening. You wanted to see the mess on my shelves, didn't you? I have a nicely curated, unmessy corner. I've gone off centre, haven't I? There we go. But yeah, I mean, this is beautiful. But if I just try and do one layer, then you can actually see the pattern. This is a very simple crochet stitch. If you have been doing granny stripe blankets, you can crochet this. It's a very similar technique. You're just putting some stitches in slightly different places. It is a 2-row repeat, so it's very easily memorizable and it works up really quickly. and it is worn by just twisting and going around the neck like so. You can twist it another time. I like to have my cowls quite loose because then when I don't have a coat on they're just warm, and then when I do they snush up and it's really nice and warm. Hey boo! So yeah, so this is the first one. This is honeycomb. This is going to be at least a set of 4. As there are 6 colours in the range, I am tempted to extend it to 6, and these hopefully will be released with video tutorials to go with them. And it will be a set of patterns, but you'll be able to get them individually as well. Who'd have a cat? Right, I know what she wants. Cow. Cow. Come here. Come here. Right, backing them out. Yeah, so this first one is the honeycomb, and the next one I have finished is called bark, as in wood bark, not dog bark. And this is the second one. This one has not got its ends woven in. I am very bad. And again, it is just a loop. And again, it is a very simple stitch. It has one foundation row and then the rows are all the same after that. So it's very, very simple. You can't really go wrong. And this is knit in the green of the jewel spun, Serdar jewel spun again. And this one, you can wear it as one big loop, or it will twist into a smaller loop, and you can have it up quite close. For me, I would probably wear this as just one big loop. This is a bit too, I feel like I'm disappearing into the cowl. It's not a good look. But yeah, you can also make this longer. I mean, you saw how much yarn I had left over. You can make this much longer and make it a double or a triple loop cowl. This is just the length that I have in the pattern because I think it works really well as a single or double loop, and personally I quite like this as like a warmer. It's really nice, and I love these greens. These greens are beautiful. So yeah, that is 2 finished crochet objects. Not 100% sure when these patterns will be coming out. I don't imagine it'll be too long, but I will be announcing it on the podcast on Instagram. I know I probably didn't remember to do all my introductions and where you can find me via social media at the beginning of the recording because I always forget, but it will have been on screen and I'll mention it again now. Yeah, so crochet works in progress. Still on doing these shawls, and this is the 3rd one, which I haven't got very far with. Mainly because this pattern did need a little bit of retweaking, just to make it simpler and so it would fit in with what we're doing here. And this pattern is called trellis. And you can probably see it's a bit tricky to see this one with it being so lacy. You've got stitches where it's more closed here, which form this line, and then you've got this zigzag trellis pattern there. Can I? Oh, if I should hold it up to the light, it's a bit easier to see. Can you see that there? So this will be the same thing. This is a 2-row repeat, and it is as simple as the other ones to do. Again, if you know how to do the stitches in a granny stripe blanket, or you can do a granny square, you can make these. They are very, very simple, but look beautiful. And these yarns are just amazing. So yeah, that is that one. Once this one is finished, I have another one I've definitely already written the pattern for that I'm quite excited to remake in this yarn. I think it's going to look lovely. And then I have another ball of this yarn, but there is one more colour in the range I don't have yet. Sorry if you can hear my stomach grumbling. Yeah, there's one ball I don't have. They didn't have it at my local boys shop, so I'll have to buy that online. And it's tempting to make this a set of 6. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, let me know. Should I make it a set of 6? Should I stick at 4? Which is your favourite so far? Let me know. I need motivation to crochet. You know how bad I am at it. That is not all. I do have a pattern release this week. It's not a crochet pattern. It is my Raven shawl pattern. I have to just go through and add in the tweaks from my testers, who have all done such an amazing job, to add the tweaks into this pattern. There's a couple of typos that I need to correct, and I just want to jolly it up a little bit, and then it'll be ready to release, and I will hopefully be doing that on Friday. This Friday coming, which will be the 21st of February? 21st of February? Yeah. The Raven shawl will finally be out in the world, be free. Is that a song? Sound of music? Good Lord. Yes, so this is the first version of the Raven shawl that I knit. It is a very simple garter and eyelet 2 skein shawl. It is designed to show off beautiful yarn, which I think it does. It's got graduated stripes, so you start in one colour and finish in the other colour. This shawl has been worn so much. It is one of my favourite shawls I have ever met. Ever met? Nice to meet you, shawl. Favourite. Descending into madness. It's one of my favourite knits. I loved knitting it. I flew off the needles. I cast on another one nearly straight away, in almost exactly the same yarn. Every time I wear this, someone comments on it. Someone says how beautiful it is. It is knit, this one is knit, sorry, in the mud-bound 4-ply, I think it was a sock weight yarn, a sock base, sorry, by Black Elephant, and this, oh, it's by this person, I can never remember. Oh yeah, Fine Fish Yarns in the neon neutrals. Can you just see how beautiful that is? The neon neutrals was single base, and this was just a normal sock base. It is a 4-ply 2 skein pattern. You can use anything you want. It is very flexible that way. And yeah, I have knit another version. This is my darker version, and this is knit. This is the one that is shown in the pattern pics. This is knit all in Black Elephant yarn, and it is in the Darrell colourway. And the mud-bound again. This time I used the mud-bound as the colour I wanted to finish on, and the darker Darrell colourway on the top. But it is equally as beautiful. I think I have about 4 more combinations here, which are all sort of raven shawls that I want to make, or adaptations therein. But yeah, I love this shawl. I wear one nearly every day. If I'm not wearing either of these shawls, I'm wearing my Starflake. I feel a little bit bad for the shawls I'm neglecting, but yeah. This pattern, my Raven shawl pattern, will be out on Friday, and there will be a discount code which I will pop on the screen now, which will be valid until the next podcast comes out, which will be in 2 weeks. So you get a good sort of 10-11 days of discount code if you watch this podcast and want to use it. But yeah, it will be, if I haven't said already, it'll be available on Ravelry, and it will be available in my Etsy shop under the knitting pattern segment. My Etsy shop is full of crochet patterns, and I know it can be a bit hard to navigate. I'm looking into getting that sorted. I have taken off quite a lot of crochet patterns that are slow sellers, so it's less full of patterns. less full of words. It's a work in progress. I'm hoping to come away from Etsy and get my own website this year. But yeah, it's a work in progress. So, last few bits to talk about. I have a few acquisitions, not many. I want to chat about the giveaway. I want to chat about Kitten. Oh, but before I do that, because I'm talking about my Etsy shop and I've just put all the details on the screen, I will say thank you to everybody who has purchased one of the Cassie bags. These are the Cassie bags. They were made as a way for us all to sort of show our love to my lovely Cassie, who I still miss very much and still can't talk about without getting all soppy and silly about it. I only have about 4 bags left of the, I can't remember how many I made. Wow. But yeah, I have a couple of the cactus ones left, and I think there's a bee. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish making them all up, because at the moment they're on a pre-order or made to order. I'm not going to do the stitch markers with them. I'm going to take that off, and I'm just going to put them in my Etsy shop at the same price, but they're there ready for anybody who wants to buy them, and they'll ship straight away. There's no waiting for them to ship then. So yeah, so hopefully again by the end of this week, if not the beginning of next week, all of those bags that are left in there will be ready to ship, not pre-order. So yeah, if you're interested in getting one, this will be your last chance. Once those last 4 have gone, that's it, I'm afraid. But yeah, thank you all for your showing your love and just having something that, you know, means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to you, a lot of you as well. So yeah, 4 left. If anybody wants some, grab them while you can. Acquisitions? Yarny goodness? Oh, of course, it's Ducky Darling's Mystery Club yarn. Now this month's club was 3 Little Pigs. All her mystery clubs are based on the classic Ladybird fairy tale books. I'm getting a vast collection. And this one was the 3 Little Pigs, and I must admit I was expecting a pink yarn, and I don't know how I felt about that. Nothing against pink yarn, absolutely love it, it's just not a colour I pretty much wear. Also, I don't ever see Ducky dyeing pinks. Maybe I'm just blanking them from, I'm sure she's got some beautiful pinks. She's got some amazing corals and peaches. Love corals and peaches. But yeah, I was expecting a bit of a pink piggy theme. So when I actually opened it, and before I show it, I might have just given a sneak peek. This yarn, because it's written on the skein and I can read it, is called Big Bad Wolf. And excuse me. Yeah, this yarn is called Big Bad Wolf. Yes. Yes! Can we just? So yeah, Big Bad Wolf. It is greys and yellows with a little pinky reds in there. Can you see them there? Yeah. So happy. I was so happy when I opened this. I was just like, I had to physically stop myself messaging Hayley straight away and going, do you have more of this? I need more. I need a sweater quantity of this. But no, I am on a very strict budget at the moment, and you never know. I will hopefully see Hayley at the Yorkshire Yarn Fest in a couple of weeks. I think it's on the 21st of March, so more adventures in March to be had. And when I have more pennies to spend, she might have more there. But yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Very, very happy. The other yarn that I purchased is from another one of my favourite dyers, who is Rhapsody Dye, and I met her at the first ever yarn show I went to, which I think was also Spring into Wool, the one I've just mentioned, or maybe that was the year before, don't remember. Yeah, and I have got a few skeins of her yarn, and she dyes bold, brilliant, amazing colours, and yeah, I love her yarn. She put on Instagram that I think she's on Facebook as well, that's not important, that she wanted to have a clear out. She's got a new project that she's planning, and she wanted to raise some funds for it, so she put, I think, about 300 skeins of yarn or something crazy like that into her shop at £10 a skein, which is pretty much almost half price. And I am on a very limited budget with kitten coming to what I can spend, but that's a bargain. And yeah, I treated myself to 2 skeins, 2 mystery skeins, but some dyers it's like, mystery skeins, yeah, I know it's going to be great, you know, surprise me. The surprise I got was that I had ticked DK rather than 4-ply fingering sock weight. That was the first surprise, and I checked and I had ticked that, and that's absolutely fine. And like, you know when you have a minute of being like, oh, I've got DK, why did I order DK? I didn't mean to, but then I was like, 2 skeins of DK, what can I do with that? 2 beautiful skeins of DK, and there is no doubt that she has picked these 2 skeins to go together, and they will go together, and what's more, they are getting cast on today. Look at these. These are amazing. So these are 100% superwash merino in a DK, and this one is called Under Darkness, and this one is called Royalty, and these go together so perfectly. Yeah. Yeah, so I just looked on Ravelry and put in you know, the amount of yarn I had, two colours, probably a shawl, yeah, and I found this free pattern, which is the Van Gogh shawl, which I'll put a picture up of. It's a free pattern, it looks absolutely beautiful, it's garter, asymmetrical shawl with drop stitches, which I love. Yeah, so I have managed to hold off casting this on just so I could show these beautiful yarns in all their beautifulness, and I'm going to cake this up while editing and cast on this afternoon. Wasn't I meant to be doing Erica's mitts? I could do a little bit of this. Okay, so that's all the acquisitions. So there is only 2 more things to talk about, which is the giveaway and the fact that Kitten's coming home next episode. Kitten is coming home a week on Monday. It's very exciting and very nervous. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've had a kitten, and she is incredibly tiny. I will put a few pictures in here. There isn't any video this time just because I forgot to take this camera with me. There will be loads of videos coming up. If you don't like kitten content, then yeah, you can skip those bits. But yeah, she is coming home. She is adorable. She's on solid food. She's a bit late on solid food, so she's a little bit smaller than she would normally be at this age. She's very tiny. Sorry, my foot's going to sleep underneath me. She sits in my hand. She's really friendly as well. I was playing with her and she was like coming to me and stuff like that, and she's fearless. Oh, she's fearless. She's all good stuff. But yes, so she is a silver Bengal kitten that I'm getting from a local breeder. I have been able to, you know, meet her literally from the day she was born. I have pictures of her on the day she was born, and you know, I've met her throughout her small growing stage. And yeah, she comes home very soon. So I I thought I'd do a little giveaway because she'll be here on the next episode. So it'll be fun to, I don't know, give somebody a prize. So yes, let's have a giveaway. Let's try and guess the name I have picked out for my adorable little kitten. Anybody can enter if you're, as long as you've watched the video, just pick a name and write it in the comments, and that will be your entry into the giveaway. Yeah, you can enter on Instagram as well. I'll be putting up a post on the Waffle podcast, and any comments on that with kitten names will also be entered. The winner is not the person who gets closest to the name or even guesses the name. The winner will be chosen at random. This is just for fun. But yeah. So yes, she is a silver Bengal. She is my little moon fae. Her name is quite mystical, but yeah, it is picked. It really suits her. It's really difficult not to refer to her as it, because that's how I refer to her now. I don't call her the kitten. Yeah. Have a guess. Enter the competition and you could win something lovely. I made something lovely for you. So yes, because the kitten is a silver Bengal and she reminds me of the surface of the moon. I made this little project bag which has moons and stars on it and a little handle. It's a very cute little sock project bag, great for on the go, because you can, when it's on your hand, you can zip this open to any length, so you can knit on the go. This is kind of how I like to have these. And there is more in here. Excuse me. There is some star stitch markers from Yarn Story. These were in a little mystery set again that I got from Yarn Story, like a little grab bag, and these were in it, and I thought they'd be perfect for this giveaway. Are they focusing? There you go. Little stars, my moon and stars. It is not a Game of Thrones name. And there is yarn in this giveaway. And this is yarn by Fruitful Fusions, who is Ishra, and I met Ishra at the Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and she kindly donated this stunning yarn for a giveaway at the time, and I have been holding on to it for the right time, and I think now is the right time. This beautiful yarn needs to go out into the world and belong to somebody. It is called Rust and Denim, and it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It is a 4-ply fingering weight superwash merino, and yeah, standard 100 grams, so pretty nice prize package. Yarn, stitch markers, and a little bag. And that is what you could win. Feel free to enter wherever in the world you are. I'm happy to post out worldwide. Have a guess at Kitty's name. And I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. I think we're under an hour. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I will be back in 2 weeks with a little kitten. There wasn't a lot of Cal this episode. I think she's abandoned us. Yeah, I'll be back in 2 weeks. So, see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.